Luke has watched me make homemade pasta many times before, and I think he was always a bit overwhelmed by the giant mess I made of my kitchen. This is one of our key differences. Luke likes order and prefers a tidy home. I often take on many things at once and can handle a bit of chaos. Today we are cooking outdoors, and I'd like to convince him that the process of making homemade pasta is actually quite simple, especially when you are making it for a smaller amount of people. Who knows? Maybe once he's tried it himself, he will attempt to do this at home.
Okay, today we're gonna make homemade pasta. And I've always thought that this was a super tedious dish to make, but today Sarah's here to prove us wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that tedious or difficult. You actually don't need any fancy tools at all. You just need eggs, flour, and a little olive oil, and really just a rolling pin and a knife. It's very basic, and we're gonna show you how to do it.
Andiamo!
Andiamo! The ingredients are simple. It's just fresh eggs, 00 flour, semolina flour, and a drizzle of olive oil. I like to calculate the recipe based on how many people you are feeding. 1 egg per person is how we calculate, and then we add in the appropriate flour until the dough comes together. Okay, so flour, oil, and eggs in this recipe. There are many ways of making homemade pasta. This is the one I like best.
We begin by creating a well of flour on our work surface. We are starting with about 1 cup of 00 flour and ½ cup of semolina flour. Next, we crack in our eggs and slowly begin incorporating the eggs into the flour. Sarah also has a bench scraper, which is helpful to keep the egg from running onto the floor.
Poi, un filo d'olio, a drizzle of olive oil. This keeps the dough from being too sticky and gives it some elasticity.
At this point, we can tell we need a bit more flour. And now it's time to use my hands, the best kitchen tool we have. It doesn't take too long for the dough to come together. If I needed more flour, now would be the time to add it, but the dough feels good. The more I knead, the smoother it becomes.
Okay, beautiful. You did a gorgeous job. One of the things I love to look at is you can see how elastic it is. You can see it bounces back when you push it down. It's not sticky. It's not sticking to your hands. This is you did a perfect job.
Okay.
Now we're gonna let it rest. So we'll do a very light dusting of flour, and we'll put it in some plastic so that it doesn't dry out. And we're gonna leave it for 30 minutes.
While we wait, we decide to make some fresh pesto from the basil in Sarah's garden.
Fresh pesto can be made with many different herbs. Basil, parsley, or fennel are all delicious. Although pine nuts are most commonly used in basil pesto, I'm going to use almonds today. After we remove the basil leaves from the stems, we pack the food processor with the basil and add in the almonds. Next, freshly chopped garlic. A knob of butter for creaminess. This was our mom's touch. Sea salt and olive oil. And just before it's done, we add some Parmesan cheese. If you want to keep your fresh pesto bright green, cover it immediately with a layer of olive oil. Okay, Luke, your beautiful pasta has rested. It looks lovely. Now if you notice, if you press into it, it's going to not bounce back quite as fast. It's staying down a little bit longer.
Okay.
With our dough ready, we divide it into 2 pieces and begin rolling it out.
So we're gonna start rolling this out, and we're gonna try and get it as thin as possible. This trick, let's see if it works here. If when you blow on the edge, if it flaps like that, then it's thin enough. And since we put olive oil in our dough, it's nice and thin, but you're still able to easily take it off your board. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So look at that beautiful pasta. Perfect. This one is a perfect consistency. Now the one we did first, we'll roll it out one more time and then we'll start cutting. Perfect. It's ready. Okay, our pasta is ready. We're gonna go ahead and roll this up lightly. We're just going to fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it, all the way. And with our knife, you can make your pasta lunga any size you want. I'm gonna make mine about this big. Okay, and now you're going to unroll it by grabbing a few, and then you twirl it like this, and you could create some little nests. And those are going to go off to the side. Fit between the layers. That's good. And then just kind of rub that around, smooth it out. You feel how it's nice and dry, but not cracking dry.
Yeah. Okay, fold it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like that.
Yeah. A little bit bigger, or it doesn't really matter.
Like that?
Perfect. Just lightly fold it like you're folding sheets. Yeah, perfect. Nice. Bravo.
This is the fun part right here.
It is.
Twirling it.
Yep.
Oops, I just did like
That's okay. It's just, it'll be loose. It's fine.
Mine doesn't look as good as yours.
Yes, it does. They look beautiful. Don't be afraid to use a generous amount of salt in your water. It should taste as salty as the Mediterranean Sea. That's cool. Once your salted pasta water is boiling, add the fresh pasta. But be ready to remove it quickly. It only takes 2 to 3 minutes to cook. We're going to bring it right back to that high boil. We'll watch it. I'm going to taste one of these. I lost one. I lost it.
Oh shoot.
I'm eating it anyway.
No way.
Yes, I am. It's done. So this is really only in here just about 2 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes is about as long as you want to cook fresh homemade pasta like this.
Super quick.
And you want to make sure you have an abundant amount of water so that the starch doesn't reabsorb into the pasta. A little bit of olive oil to make sure that it doesn't stick together.
Sarah made a meat sauce with rabbit the night before, so we will be serving our homemade pasta 2 ways. Plate number 1, our pasta with basil pesto, fresh garden tomatoes, and Parmesan. Plate number 2, our pasta with rabbit sauce, Parmesan, and fresh parsley.
Cheers.
Cheers, salute.
Homemade fresh pasta for our pranzo. I'm gonna go for the pesto one. Yum. Molto bene. Dang, that's good.
Oh my goodness. Taste this one.
It's totally salty.
Yeah, you don't need to add extra salt.
Yeah.
And then you're putting cheese, so that's of course. This is what we still have left over. Ruby, come
From
on
that
over.
little
Come over here.
That little ball of dough.
Mm-hmm.
Made all this.
What would you like, pesto or meat sauce? Okay, bring the pesto over.
The pesto one is really good.
How is it?
So good.
So what do you think? Will you try making homemade pasta at home?
I'm not putting that in my mouth. That's all I want to do.
I'm sorry, but I am so happy that I'm Italian. How can you not be so happy to be Italian when you get to eat like this?
No, it's super good. My little happy Mexican.